Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're jumping right into a policy scare that sent absolute shockwaves from Silicon Valley all the way to Bangalore. We're talking about a proposal that almost completely upended the lives and careers of thousands of skilled workers in the US.
Just imagine this for a second. Your company suddenly gets a notice that it has to pay a brand new fee of $100,000 just to keep you on the payroll. Well, for thousands of skilled foreign workers, especially from India, this shocking idea almost became their new reality, literally overnight.
So let's really unpack this whole thing. We're going to trace the story right from its confusing start as an executive order through the absolute global panic it created and all the way to the sudden U-turn that left pretty much everyone catching their breath. Okay, so it all kicked off with an executive order and a stunning new rule that was aimed squarely at the H-1B visa program. And as you know, that's the main pipeline the US uses to bring in high-skilled talent from around the world.
The number that got everyone's attention was just staggering. A proposed fee of $100,000, that's roughly 90 lakh rupees, that a company would have to shell out to sponsor just one foreign worker.
You know, what really created this perfect storm of panic was how vague the initial announcement was. The absolute worst-case scenario started spreading like wildfire, that this was going to be a recurring annual fee, and that it would apply to everyone, even people who already had their visas. Honestly, it felt less like a policy tweak and more like a total purge.
Now, this whole policy scare didn't hit every nationality the same way. It felt particularly targeted. And when you actually look at the data, you can see exactly why the Indian tech community was on such high alert.
The reason for all the alarm becomes crystal clear with just one number. Of the 85,000 H-1B visas that are issued every year, a massive 71%, 71, go to Indian nationals. So any change to this program, no matter how small it seems, has a direct and huge impact on India's talent pool.
And this fear, it got ugly fast. According to the source material, it fueled some pretty nasty online xenophobia. Campaigns with names like Clog the Toilet actually popped up. The idea was for people to hold seats on flights from India to the US without ever paying, which would artificially jack up the prices and make it harder for Indian nationals who are abroad to get back.
And this threat felt so personal because it seemed to just ignore the massive merit-based contributions of the Indian community. I mean, look at this data from the source. It shows that 70% of Indian Americans hold a bachelor's degree or higher. That's nearly triple the US average of 26%.
And all that educational achievement? Well, it translates directly into economic success. According to the data, Indian Americans are actually the highest earning ethnic group in the United States. Their median household income is significantly higher than many other groups, which just underscores the economic value they bring.
But just as the panic was hitting a fever pitch, the story took a wild turn. The administration did a complete 180, clarifying the policy and pretty much dialing back the alarm bells overnight.
This clarification just completely reframed the whole conversation. The fear of this recurring, retroactive fee that would hit everyone was replaced by the reality of a one-time fee and, this is key, only for new applicants. So what felt like this huge existential crisis became a significant, yeah, but manageable hurdle for the future.
The official statement from the press secretary basically brought three huge points of relief. Number one, existing H-1B holders are safe. Number two, the fee is a one-time payment, not some kind of annual subscription. And number three, people who were temporarily outside the US weren't going to have their visas revoked. The storm had passed.
But, even after the fire is put out, the smoke still lingers. An event like this leaves a mark. This scare has real, lasting consequences for companies, for individuals, and for that delicate balance of global talent. So what's the long-term fallout here? Well, it's pretty significant. Companies will almost certainly become far more selective about who they sponsor, which makes it way tougher for new graduates to get a foot in the door. The whole incident also creates a new point of tension in the US-India strategic relationship, and it could even affect the flow of vital money sent back home to India.
This whole episode just poured gasoline on the fire of the bigger debate about skilled immigration. As the famous physicist Michio Kaku once said, the H-1B visa is America's secret weapon. He argues that without it, the engine of innovation that we call Silicon Valley would just grind to a halt. But on the flip side, you have others who see a real opportunity in America's restrictive policies. Niti Aayog founder Amitabh Kant basically suggested that if the US starts turning away top talent, that talent doesn't just vanish. It'll go on to fuel the growth of India's own booming tech hubs in cities like Hyderabad and Bangalore.
And that leaves us with a big, lingering question, doesn't it? Was this whole thing just a temporary scare, a bit of political theater that was quickly walked back? Or does it signal something deeper, a more permanent shift in how the world's best and brightest think about building their careers and ultimately where the future's going to be built?